I hereby humbly apologize for not gatekeeping powerful information and that I will be bursting your bubble today when I tell you that everything you've ever heard about habit building and forming new mental patterns was wrong. If you are ready to face the music, stop playing, and for real want to change your life, then you don't want to miss any part of this video. My name is Summer. My friends call me Vixie, it's short for Vixenian, and this is the third lesson of the ultimate It Girl Guide here on my channel. Welcome in. The author Louise Hay likes to imagine that she has tiny people working on the inside of her gut, and they have this filing system for each thought that comes in. So for example, the thought "I'm not good enough" gets filed in this filing system, and to the left of that is "not smart enough." But when we start thinking differently, they panic. They go to management, to the Department of Doubt, and they say they've just got these new thoughts: I am enough and my wisdom is infinite, and they don't know where to file it. It is then when we need to tell them, take a chill pill, my friend, there will be more of these good thoughts coming in. Just create a new filing system for each of them, okay? It is good then to have some evidence to calm them down. Look, she's staying diligent on this video series. There's the proof. She's even rewatched some part of it and she's been leaving comments. It's practically set in stone that she's on a new path. So in order to banish these devils of doubt, let me ask you this. What did you discover about yourself from observing your thoughts since the last video? Was it hard at first to remember to do it, or did it get easier? Do you feel you need more practice in making it a lasting habit? Pause this video, do some introspection and write it down in your notebook. And if there's any part of it that you feel comfortable sharing on a more public platform, then click on the link below to go back to the previous video and comment it there. Doing things like this on a more public platform does seem to help to keep us accountable. And when doubt comes knocking, you have the cold hard truth as proof on a public platform. Still here? No, it's time to pause the video now, then come back to it. Ready? Let's go. Last time we discussed how our subconscious, which makes up 80% of our minds, have certain belief systems that our conscious, which makes up 20% of our minds, run on. In order to understand how to create new and more beneficial programs for your mind to run on, let me first explain how the relationship between the subconscious and the conscious actually works. The conscious is able to come up with ideas like, hey, here's an idea, let's go to the mall. The subconscious is like a clever 9-year-old child. So it rolls its eyes and gives you a nah and continues to scroll. That's because ideas, thinking, logic, reasoning, those are the things that excite the conscious mind. The most you will get out of the subconscious with those same things is probably a yawn. But hey, the clever conscious knows how to change words into feelings. So it tries again. Remember how much we love shopping? Ooh, and didn't that exciting new shop open recently? The subconscious puts the phone down. You mean we get to feel love and excitement? I'll wait for you in the car. Okay, so what happened there? The conscious came up with an idea, translated it to a feeling, so that the subconscious, who speaks the language of feelings only, could understand. The subconscious then expressed that feeling that was originally just an idea, and upon expressing it, you, my gorgeous friend, got yourself a trip to the mall. Now, this is how the conscious and the subconscious work together in one particular moment. But you see, next time when the conscious suggests, hey, let's go to the mall, the subconscious is more likely to remember, hey, last time was really exciting, let's go. Because when we have a whole lot of good feelings surrounding one particular idea, the idea only needs the smallest little mention for all of the good feelings to flood in almost instantaneously, leading us to action or the expression of the idea. This means the good feelings have either been enforced extremely strongly, like the story about the lion that we discussed last time, or so repetitively that it has resulted into a new belief system. You can think of each of your belief systems as a really busy highway. Let's take an example and say one of those highways is the highway of doom scrolling. The highway has many cars. Each time you think of your phone, you touch your phone, you look at your phone, each time you hold it or you actually do doom scroll, a new car is added on this highway. Therefore, the government keeps that highway in top-notch condition. The road gets cleaned and freshly tarred very frequently. It even has pretty little flowers on the sides of the road. Now, for you to stop doom scrolling, an entirely new highway needs to be built. The highway of not doom scrolling. Now, via repetitive thought or clear and deliberate work with the subconscious, eventually that new highway can be constructed, aka a new habit or belief would have been formed for the most part. But, and this is where many of us misunderstand habit forming. For a good while after this new highway has already been created, you will have two mental highways to choose from whenever the opportunity presents itself. And it's up to you to over and over again choose to put a car on the new highway of not doom scrolling and to not let the cars just go back onto the old road. And you might think that after a good while the old road has deteriorated completely and the government has all its attention on the highway of not doom scrolling, but lo and behold, one day, out of the blue, you find a lonesome car on the remains of the old highway of doom scrolling, indicating that it has, in fact, not been fully removed. The mental pattern is still going strongly, and there could be many reasons for that. But here is the most common one, and also why I say the world tells us lies about habit formation. We often hear that it takes 21 days to form a new habit, and we think if we just persevere for 21 days, all will be well and good, and we won't struggle with the temptation of the former habit or the former thinking pattern. My friend, a single thought can be measured when we are looking at the brain from a neuroscientific standpoint. And that teeny tiny little thought, which is merely a dot, grows and eventually looks like a lollipop. Eventually, we grow trees of thought in our brains. Dr. Caroline Leaf explains this really well. I'm such a fan of her work. What I'm trying to say is, yes, it actually does take 21 days for the habit to start taking form. But in order to make a lifestyle change that lasts, in order to be a new you who does not doom scroll like in our example, it takes 3 whole cycles of 21 days. That is 63 days. Hold up, I can hear you objecting all the way from sunny South Africa. Yes, the lion and the thatched roof story that we spoke about last time was a belief system that was implemented instantly. So clearly there must be a shortcut. Oh, you clever little fox, you. Exactly. There are actually 2 ways of installing new software into the mind. Picture an hourglass, where the top part is the conscious mind and the bottom is the subconscious. And that tiny little part in the middle, we are going to call the critical filter. For a belief to pass from the conscious mind to the subconscious, it needs to pass through the critical filter, that small little part in the hourglass. Repetition, therefore, is the slow process of the conscious mind feeding the subconscious a particular idea and its relative feeling over and over again for at least 63 days. The thoughts and feelings trickle down little by little and slowly until a significant amount of it has reached the subconscious and as a result created a new pattern or belief system. Repetition could be done via affirmations, going to see a psychologist, or even an action like going to the gym every day even if you don't feel like it until you eventually feel like it and it becomes a habit. Now, if we were to remove that tiny part of the hourglass altogether, the sand will just flop into the bottom part all at once, right? So this means we are bypassing the critical filter and accessing the subconscious mind openly, so to speak. Examples of deliberately doing this could be prayer, fasting, meditation, and of course hypnosis. And these all replicate what happened in the mind in the lion story. The critical filter was, in that scenario, bypassed because our subconscious jumps in with a superhero landing to keep us safe during emergencies. That's why we feel like we cannot think clearly during such situations, but we still somehow end up doing the right thing. It's because the subconscious took over for a short bit just to keep us safe, because the subconscious is more powerful. It's the 80% part, remember? So for emergencies, the conscious kind of goes into the background a little bit. So that's why in that scenario, an emergency situation happened and the belief system was implemented instantly. Here's a fun fact. You had no critical filter until you were about 8 or 9 years old when your conscious was still being developed. You were all subconscious, baby. So that's why everything that happened in that time frame became belief systems so easily. If you made it this far in the video, please pat yourself on the back and say, well done, you fabulous fox, because this was an awful lot to take in, I know. And because of that, homework has been cancelled, honey. But please be sure to refresh on all of this info before the next video, because each video builds on the last. And if you have rewatched it and there's anything you did not understand or you want me to help clarify for you, please leave your questions in the comments. And don't worry about how to apply these two techniques just yet. We will get to that in the next videos. But that's a wrap, baby girl. Stay foxy! Then you don't want to don't know where to file it. Ouch. I will leave the you have cold hard truth on a truth is which makes up the amount has reached but please be sure to get them you, my gorgeous friend, have got yourself a the tiny little part